What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Gotians Games, and continuing our coverage of this. My glasses are in my way. Continuing our coverage of Final Fantasy VII Remake. They have confirmed for us that the remake will still indeed be multiple parts. Now, that's no surprise because they've been saying that for a while. I just wanted to talk a little bit about it and kind of put my thoughts into it. I'm just right out of the gate, I'm not opposed to it being multiple parts. In fact, I feel like that is actually probably the best way to handle this kind of game, because the game is on such a large grand scale. Sorry, I have something in my eye. The game is on such a large grand scale to kind of to have to put that kind of game that on average the completion time for Final Fantasy VII was anywhere between 40 to 60 hours. And that's really only if you're just playing the story. Yes, there are speed runs of people doing it a lot faster. That's fine. But on average, 40 to 60 hours of gameplay. And that is not completing the game because the game is so massive. There's a lot of stuff in there. So I'm okay with them doing it a multi-part series, because if you think about it, back in the PlayStation days, the game was split into 3 parts. It was 3 discs. So it was split into 3 parts. And granted, a lot of it had to do with the fact that since the game was so massive, it was basically the data on the disc. Like, the discs themselves couldn't hold that amount of data at the time. So, it goes to show that if you're gonna do that same kind of grand scale of a project in modern day era, of course the game discs and stuff are not going to be able to handle that. Like, if we were to get the game released itself, it would probably be like at least 3 or 4 Blu-rays, depending on how they went ahead and handled it. So, them confirming that it's multiple parts, I'm okay with. I don't mind it as long as they stay true to their word, and their word being that each part will be a full-length game. I am 100% on board. And to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea, doing it multiple parts, if it's a full-length game and they decide they're going to charge $60 a game, you're talking minimum, if they're doing it 3 parts, minimum will be about $180. Now, they could do it kind of like, because when they first announced Final Fantasy VII Remake, they said they could have done it, or they were thinking about doing in episodic format, in the sense that, like, you get a season pass and you get it from there. Now, they could do it like that, but depending on how well the game is made, I would be okay with spending the $60 per game. I mean, you would market it Final Fantasy VII, and then, the next one, Final Fantasy VII 2, Final Fantasy VII 3. Or part 1, part 2, part 3, however they wanted to market it. Again, as long as it's a good game, as long as I feel like I got my money's worth and I enjoy myself in the game, I am 100% okay with that. Other than that, like, I can't really. Here's the thing. If you split into multiple projects, or not projects, but multiple parts or sections, it allows them to be able to take their time releasing the next game, because then at that point it doesn't feel rushed, and that's what I don't want. Now, the problem that I see it is that we're at the end of this current generation for consoles. The PS4 is pretty much out the door at this point. And the only reason why I say that is because we have next gen consoles right around the corner. 2020, next gen consoles will probably be here. And so a lot of these games that are getting released now, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, all of these games will probably see on next-gen console as well. So if you are one of the people who are really looking forward to Final Fantasy VII and you buy it on the PS4, I wouldn't worry too much, specifically because Sony has gone ahead and stated that the PS5, or whatever they're going to call it, the next-gen console, will have backwards compatibility with PlayStation 4, because they're going to share very similar architecture. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, especially considering that you should be able to then buy the rest of the games on the PS5 and then carry the save data over. I don't see why that would be an issue at that point. in a way, it kind of makes sense that the game is being released now, so that way people who don't like to buy consoles when they initially release, they can play the game on their previous console, similar to how when the first Last of Us got released, it got released on the PS3, and then we had an HD version of Last of Us on the PS4, which I indeed purchased. So I bought it twice. But that's because I like the game that much, so I was willing to go ahead and support it. Same thing with Final Fantasy VII. You know, I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it. I mean, if you guys can't tell from all the coverage on the game. But I'm excited for Final Fantasy VII to be released. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see what the game brings to us. And I don't think that I'm going to be disappointed. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much or my expectations too high, because I don't want to be disappointed, but I don't feel like I would be disappointed. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about it being multi-part still. Again, I don't mind it, and I don't think many guys actually do mind it either, because we've been told in the past that it would be, in fact, multiple parts. So I don't see why it would be a problem now if it wasn't, or if, you know, if it is. So with that, I'll leave that to you guys. Leave it in your hands. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribing if you guys are new. I will catch you on the next video. You're watching this on a Sunday. It is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. So with that, I'm going to get going. Peace out, guys.